Welcome to the party.
Look,
Hi.
shocked, sir. How you doing?
I don't know. Happy to be here.
Yeah, happy to be here. I'm happy to be here, Johnny. Thank you. Um,
Thanks for
all
having
right,
me on.
sir. All right, so we're just gonna get into our topic. I'm really short on small talk with you today.
Thanks.
Um, all right,
What?
this is something I thought was pretty interesting. Vacating championships in sports after scandals. What do you think about that?
Explain.
Okay.
What do you,
The Mets, I think the Mets have got caught, not the Mets. The Astros, Houston Astros
the
were caught
cheating?
cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's been this discussion
The
over, okay,
Patriots cheating? Yeah.
yeah. So, or when USC has these, they had these like violations and things like that. Should you vacate? Like they took away, I think Reggie Bush's
Oh.
Heisman. They took away his Heisman,
Okay. So
right?
like you're done. You've
Yeah.
lost the title.
Right. So, what do you think about that? I think that's a slippery slope, and I'm not sure about it.
Um, I get it because like especially with like the New England Patriots, who I'm not a fan of. Yeah, fine. Take away.
You should just say you hate them, Greg. I mean,
I think I do.
you're
Yeah.
yeah, I think you're really right
um,
with them.
but just that idea. I mean, yeah, if you're cheating in a team sport like that, and I think it maybe depends on the level of your violation. The thing is, you're not going to take away that win. I mean, you can retroactively change the books or whatever, but like the fact is the fact. I mean, you can't go back and say that the Patriots didn't win a Super Bowl because they cheated in the regular season. Maybe they shouldn't have been there to begin with, but what are you going to do? I mean, you can't take, well, maybe they can take the money back. They could fine them, I guess, but you're going to go back and take away the ring. You're going to
That's what
say
I'm asking you,
you're going to have to hand all those in.
Greg.
Um,
You're the commissioner. What do you do? So you have the power to change this. You have the power to sit there and say, all right, you know what? We caught you cheating, so the Rams are going to win. Are going to be given the championship, not the Patriots.
I don't think I don't think I would go that route because especially if it comes out after the fact. I mean, the damage is done. And in terms of the Astros, it was what, 2 seasons ago? Was it, or was it
Yeah,
last season?
but I think it's a now. I'm not a baseball guy, but I
Okay,
think there was a direct correlation. Like they did it
right.
in the playoffs,
So
and
it's one of those like again, do they get a World Series ring? I
yeah,
think they
they
do.
they won, and I think that's what started this ball
Because
rolling.
because being a Packer fan, I know when the Packers win the Super Bowl, like the janitor gets a Super Bowl ring for being a part of the organization. The
Right,
office people get Super Bowl rings for being a part of the organization.
right, right.
It's not their fault. It's not on them to know what's going on and take with it. So I guess at that level, I'm like, no, that person should not have to give up whatever it was that they got. Now, as a commissioner, I think what you do is that yeah, change the record books, take away like the big trophy, like hand back the World Series trophy, hand back, the Lombardi trophy. If it's a football thing, you don't get to keep that anymore. You don't get to keep either the real one that you keep in a basement that's only for like VIPs, nor do you get to display the fake one for every Tom, Dick, and Harry that comes through the stadium. Those are gone. And depending on the level of it, you don't get to make the playoffs for a certain number of years, and you don't get first round draft picks.
Okay,
So imagine, and this is where I think, yeah, this would hurt them if the New England Patriots were caught cheating again. And if the commissioner said, you know what, I've had enough, you guys could have a perfect record. You don't get to go to the playoffs.
okay.
That's
So
your
almost,
that's your
almost,
punishment.
almost like a Okay, that one. Okay, but here's my question. So you're saying you would punish them after the fact?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so what
because
about
they're
a
all-
free agent that signed there that had nothing to do with that 2001 season, and he
sucks?
just found out? So that's how
Yeah.
you'd handle it. Just sucks to be you.
Well, it'd have to be. I mean, are you going to allow him to sign with somebody else and be like, well, I guess you could, oh, maybe that's it. Give them an option. Someone else can pick up your contract, even though you signed with the New England Patriots, who are cheaters. If you want to go somewhere else, we're going to open that up. Does anybody want this guy for the current contract so that he can walk away from the Patriots? Yes or no?
Okay, all right.
And if someone says, yeah, we'll take him, you go to him and say, okay, here's, you know, this team will take you. The Browns will take you. The Green Bay Packers will take you. I mean, so you have a team that's definitely not going to make the playoffs, and you have a team that has a possibility of making the playoffs. One of them will take you.
You're talking about that as almost a deterrent.
Yeah. I mean, because
a big time deterrent.
it would be like it would happen once,
So-
maybe twice, and then maybe teams would be like, yeah, we can't give up a possible playoff spot. If you're the Browns and you're cheating, they can't give away first round draft picks. It's too valuable to them. So that would be a deterrent.
Okay. All right. I think that's awful harsh. I don't think that's realistic. And I just want to let everybody know that there's a website out there called Your Team Cheats Too, and it has every team ever that has cheated. And guess what? It's everybody. Your Packers, my Bears, San Francisco.
Is it
It's
cheating on like during plays? Because everybody knows holding happens every play.
No, not
Stuff
that
like
type.
Is it that kind of cheating, or is it like the sign stealing?
It's the sign stealing. It's the getting somebody's playbook and they didn't know you got it, or pumping crowd music or louder music into the stadium while the other team's on, or disconnecting their communications so they can't. Every team's done it throughout the history of sports. It goes all the way back to the Red Sox, right? Didn't the Red Sox, not the Red Sox, the White Sox. Then the White Sox do something way back then where they.
Oh, that's the 8 Men Out story.
Yeah. They did some. I mean, so that's been a part of sports.
As long as there's been sports, there's been cheating.
As long as there's been a reason to cheat, there's been cheaters.
Sure.
So I guess the old cliche is that if it doesn't pay off, people wouldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is that's an interesting debate in itself. So I like the fact that you're hard fast. My only question is, would you be like that if it was the Packers?
Well, you'd have to be. I mean, if you're the commissioner,
No, Greg. Would you feel the same way?
Yeah.
Would
yeah,
Greg Struley, not as commissioner, would Greg Struley, a Packer fan, feel the same way if this was what the Patriots have a history of, if his Packers had that?
Yeah, I think I would, because there's a level of especially as a Packer fan, there's a level of integrity that I'm not saying that other teams don't have, but I feel like the Packer organization touts that as this is tradition. We are the Green Bay Packers. We are a small town football team that, like I said, just that level of integrity that's there. I mean, it's Vince Lombardi. I mean, it's one of those like for the love of the game kind of things. And so, yeah, if it was them, I would be like, shame on you. You have failed this state. And just, yeah, they would be berated by everybody. There would be people that'd be like, everybody's doing it. Come on.
Yeah.
But no, it would be, I would feel the same way like if Aaron Rodgers and I ever got to play a Settlers of Catan game and I caught him cheating. I'd be like, what is wrong with you?
Wait, a what? A what?
Well, it's a big nerd thing. Settlers of Catan. It's a big.
Catan.
It's a board
Is it like
game.
an online game? Oh, board game. Okay.
It's a full-on board game that.
Is it like Risk?
In that it's a board game, sure, and that you're competing against other people, sure. I would say I could bring it down and we could play it sometime, but there's a learning curve to it, and it takes a little bit to get into it. But
oh Jesus Christ, I don't want to learn a board game. That sounds like I got more things.
The thing was like when Clay Matthews was with the Packers, that was the thing. Like the team would play Settlers of Catan like on their flights in the hotel rooms.
Okay.
Aaron kind of brought that in, so because because he's a big nerd. I mean, I don't know if people know.
Didn't he get burned alive in the finale of Game of Thrones? He was in there.
I believe so. Yeah, he was one of the ones the dragon came.
Yep.
Like
Roasting him alive. Yep.
So,
all right. Well, I think it's interesting. I don't know how you handle it. I think there are smarter people than you and I that are trying to figure out how to handle it right now.
Literally millions of dollars involved.
Yeah.
Possibly billions of dollars involved in some of these cheating scandals of, this team did it, this team did.
Or if you just put an asterisk by it in the record books.
Oh, like they cheated. Well, and you know what? I look at, I think, were we in high school when the home run?
Yeah, the home run thing.
Mark McGwire,
McGwire, Sosa.
And all those guys, going from like skinny baseball players to just these jacked, roided up guys that are knocking it out of the park, and they were breaking home run records. And so you sit there and go, okay, either you need to be really cool with the idea that professional athletes use steroids and just take that as a fact, or you need to put that asterisk by their name and be like, well, or just say, well, the home run record for guys that are clean is this. The home run record for guys that are roided up is this.
The ones that we've caught.
Yeah, the ones that we've caught.
There were thousands probably out there that didn't get, or I shouldn't say thousands.
And
there were.
I don't know why that is making it to the floor of any American governing body at all. Like that was argued, I believe, in the Senate or the Supreme Court or something like that.
The guy that was on there who was pointing to the guy and said, "I've never done it," got busted, I think, a month later.
Well, and it's like, what?
Forgot who he was.
Our government does not need to waste time with
we don't.
Professional athletes. Who's that? Because you'll notice they didn't go after the NFL and be like, who's on steroids?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, the human body doesn't get that big on its own.
Well, I think...
Or professional wrestling. They didn't go after professional wrestling and say, okay, let's do some steroid testing.
Sports is such a weird thing because, like, the people that were like Dick Butkus, I always had a problem with Dick Butkus because everybody would say, man, if that guy was playing now, he would be dominating. And my first thing was, no, he wouldn't. If you picked him up from 1960 and you dropped him in there, he'd be the slowest guy on the field, and he'd probably break himself in half because he would probably weighed 200. I think a lineman back in the 60s weighed 219 pounds, right? So I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, people hold those records, like those – I especially in baseball, from what I've understood, they really hold those records as like it's really important to them.
Well, right? It's sacred because the game of baseball has been around for over 100 years. I mean,
so sacred, but what they get mad if somebody broke a record from 1919 and he was caught cheating. Well, guess what? Like, isn't kind of cheating like learning how to take care of your body better than these guys when they were done or in the middle of, like, didn't Babe Ruth used to smoke a cigarette in the dugout?
He would smoke a cigar, smoke a cigarette, have some whiskey. I mean, he was not a healthy human being.
But that's what I'm saying. So if you took those players, right, and you showed them everything that is to offer now, that if you show them the science that, hey, man, doing that's actually bad for you, maybe they would have played better and done better.
The athletes that just played fair, they didn't cheat. They weren't, even now, the athletes that don't take performance enhancers in terms of like anabolic steroids or stuff that would be considered illegal, is still, they're training better. They are taking supplements that could be completely legal. I mean, again, you look at even just bodybuilding, let's say. Look at a bodybuilder from 1940, 1950.
Yeah.
I mean,
now.
And then you look at like those just absolutely massive, like Coleman. What was his first name?
I don't know what you're talking about, but
you would recognize. Actually, there's a great Netflix series about him. Just these like ballooned up, like huge muscle guys that we were seeing on Muscle and Fitness, like when we were in high school and college.
Right. Yeah.
Those guys. There's no comparison in bodybuilders. I mean,
right. You're right.
It's just different.
It's absolutely different. He can barely walk now, right? That Coleman guy. right?
Yeah, no, he's jacked up. Like bodybuilding has wrecked him.
And
For
not
sure.
jacked up in the good way, jacked up in like he
No,
can't
no,
stand up and take a piss.
his knees are gone, his spine is gone. He's been so compacted. He was just Ronnie Coleman. Ronnie Coleman.
Ronnie Coleman, that was it. Yeah.
And like his spine has been compacted so much from all the weight he would carry, just sick amounts of weight and bodybuilding, and
Yeah. Yeah.
he made a ton of money. I believe he's still doing okay, but yeah, he's in a bad way in terms of
Did
health.
he shed all that? Did he like lose all that?
No, if you look at him in the
Recently?
documentary, I mean he's smaller for sure, but he's still working out, a lot, and kind of in that Hulk Hogan kind of, you're not as big as you used to be, but
You're still there.
you're like in your 60s, 70s, you're not supposed to be. I mean, you're still still bigger than I am. He still probably benches more than anybody I know, but again,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
needs
Interesting.
he needs a walker. He's got like the poles, the pole canes that he needs to use two of to get around. Has trouble getting in and out of his vehicle. Just a rough existence.
Yeah. Yeah, things you'll do, man. And I bet you any money, they probably asked him in that documentary, like, if you could go back, would you do it all over again? He probably said yes, right?
He said he'd probably do it the same. I mean, he would
Yeah.
make some different choices. But I gotta respect him. I mean, the guy was a cop and was a cop through was he in Chicago? Chicago, New Orleans? I can't remember. But he was a cop through like most of that bodybuilding phase that he had. So I respect him. I mean, sure. And it's not like he didn't put in a ton of hard work.
No,
And he's
that's
still,
true.
And he's
That's
still
true.
hustling. He's got like an energy drink that he's trying to sell, stuff like that, and
Yeah.
bodybuilding supplements. He's still a legend in the field.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah. Anyway. All right, let's go to our fact of the day.
yeah, we missed that one last time. Sorry,
Yeah,
folks.
we did. We did. Our random fact is I kind of like this girl. In the movie Divergent, the sound that Peter, Miles Teller, makes when Trish punches him in the throat is genuine. Woodley didn't want to hurt Teller, so she was being timid. As filming continued, Teller and Woodley got more aggressive, and during one take, Woodley actually hit him in the throat, which Teller wasn't expecting. This is the take that is in the movie. That doesn't surprise me about Miles Teller. He seems like a total method actor.
When I first started seeing him and stuff, I think it may have been in Divergent. I'm like, I don't like this guy. I don't like him at all. But then the more I watched him, I'm like, I like this guy. I think he's really good.
Yeah, I think he was in that gun running movie with Jonah Hill.
Yes, very good.
That was a good movie.
Yeah,
I forgot what that was called.
War Dogs.
Yeah, I want to see Whiplash, but I haven't seen it yet. Like, have you seen Whiplash?
Yeah, rough.
Yeah. Those are two really good actors too.
Oh God, yeah. Amazing actors, both of them. They both did an amazing job. My suggestion is that if you have any issues with a father figure at all, you don't want to watch it.
Okay, sounds good.
Because it gets rough. And just like on it, just writing him to be better, to push him to be better, but still, it's brutal.
Yeah. All right, we'll end on that cheery note. All right, guys, thank you for listening. Enjoy your week. Johnny and the Greg, Topic Thunder, out.